Hey friends, what's happening? It's Friday. Right on. Thank God it's Friday. The weekend is here. Time for me to get back to work gigging and playing this weekend. But I have time today and I want to make one more video. And this is the instrument that I chose. It's time to feature my beautiful MG instrument today and tell you a little bit about it. This is built handmade by Mauricio Costa, MG basses. Mauricio is of a Brazilian descent, now established in New Hampshire in the United States, building there. And he crafted this instrument for me completely by hand. And as you can see, it's absolutely beautiful. It's got purple heart and Wengie in the top and maple and mahogany in the neck. And it's got this beautiful multi-wood fingerboard on there. I went with the Nordstrand BigBlades and boost-only 2-band active-passive preamp. The instrument turned out wonderful. Has really low action, nice tension, and it's a super fast bass. I want to say that the spacing is 16 millimeter. Typically I get 18 on a 5-string bass these days, but this 16 is actually really cozy and tight. And like all back in here where I play over the back pickup, it's just with the finger style. It enables me to just play really fast and articulate and it's just really excellent. Okay, so that's in passive mode, and that was both pickups. Now we'll go to just the back. Here's both again. And now here's just the back. Sorry. Alright, so that was just the back pickup. Amazing back pickup sound. These BigBlades are fantastic. I just love the Blade series from Nordstrand. I have the Power Blades in 2 of my P basses now, and I have the BigBlades in 1, 2, 3 of my basses, and now I'm just getting ready to drop in the Big Blade Man into my Univox P bass. Okay, so now we're on the front pickup. Super articulate, round, robust front pickup sound. And the wood of the wood tone of this instrument, it's just outstanding. Okay, so that's all been passive so far. Now we're popping in the preamp. You know, how can I describe this? The best way to describe the preamp, the boost-only preamp from Nordstrand, is that, you know, it takes it to an active place, but not an overly modern active place instantly. Meaning, you know, you have just 1 to 10 controls of bass and treble, and both of them are on about 4 right now. Without it, with it, without, with, without, with, without, and with. One more time without it. With. So, you know, with this instrument, with all the instruments actually, but particularly, you know, the way that everything came together on this one with the big blades and the preamp, active, passive, both functions, or both functions, you know, active and passive, and going through the range of the preamp work perfectly. The blend, you know, front pickup, both, and back. Middle, front, back, and this 16mm spacing enables me to play really, really fast with the right hand. No question about it. It's a little tighter for me when I'm slapping, but oh well, you know, I can make it work. Okay, so yeah, I don't know what else to say about this instrument. It's fantastic. It's beautiful, and it's holding up really, really well. I want to mention that. You know, I live in Colorado here. It's very, very dry. Basically, it's like high desert. There's no humidity here. So if you're going to send an instrument, you know, into, you know, a climate battle, you know, this is kind of the place where they're going to dry up, they're going to shrink up, the frets are going to come out and, you know, start to become exposed, and you know, some do better than others here. I'm telling you the truth. Some of them, they shrink. It's just the nature of wood, you know. It's nobody's fault. It's just, you know, wood shrinks, metal stays the same size, frets come out. Oh well, it happens. And then you just, you know, you just file them down. Once the instrument settles, it's usually, you know, it's a one-time deal, maybe twice, you know. In the early life of the instrument, you have to do that, and then they're good to go. But this one I've had for 6 months now up here in Colorado, and still smooth as a baby's behind on the fret edges. It's had no shrinking or anything. And I have to think that that has to do with the way that, you know, how long the builder has their wood hanging around, you know, drying and aging. I know that, you know, this one has really been really great. You know, it hasn't had any of that shrinking or anything like that. And I can only attribute that to the fact that the wood must be really good and dry at the point of when the instrument is built. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of already settled. You know, that's my only explanation for it. Because there's several others that I have, and it doesn't matter the how much they cost, because sometimes even expensive ones shrink up like that. So. And speaking of expensive, this instrument looks like it's very expensive, but it's not. For a handmade instrument of this quality, wooden cover, nicely fitted, through body neck, multi-laminations, swamp ash back, beautiful figured swamp ash back, all this detail in the fretboard, the use of purple heart, which is kind of pricey wood, Wenji. You know, I can't quote it exactly, but I want to say it's about under $2,000, and well under 2,000, somewhere like 16 or so, or something like that. You know, and with the Nordstrand pickups and preamp, you know, I don't know if that I don't know if that's going to affect it too. You know. But what a great slap sound. You know this instrument, I hate to compare one to another in terms of builder or whatever, but in terms of the spirit of this bass and when I'm playing it, it reminds me of the early Tobias basses, the early ones from the 80s, you know what I mean? We used to call them gospel basses. Way before MTD. Which are awesome, by the way. You know what I'm saying? So there's an established builder that is an iconic, legendary builder, Michael Tobias, and Mauricio is a new guy. He's a young guy, you know. He's got a big and a very promising future in the musical instrument making world. I promise. Now that I'm getting used to it, you know, the 16mm spacing, I'm actually able to blaze on it slapping. It makes slapping, you know, fast as well. You know those down rakes? That's easier on a tighter spacing. It's easier to get that down rake thing happening. It's a little harder doing the, you know, anytime where you have to get in and out, it makes it a little harder. You know, that's the one thing that makes it a little harder. But like all the down raking and the kind of, all that kind of hammer on, you know, descending hammer on and ascending hammer on stuff is actually easier with a tighter spacing. But just playing fingerstyle back here over the back pickup. Oh wow, it is so great. Of all Victor Wooten's, you know, 3 million plus licks that I adore, for some reason I love that one, and it's one of the most simple. Alright, so there you go. Yeah, I'm gonna hang around and play this one today. I love what I'm able to do here at the Daily Funk Club. It's been a real treat and a real honor to start this kind of this thing going with the Daily Funk Club and work with all these great builders and make it my job, my task to do the best that I can to help them build up their brand and let people see and hear the instruments in the best light I can with the skills that I have, and you know, with the styles. With my style, show the instruments in the best way that I can, and what a fun job to have, you know. I've been just completely, you know, I don't know what the word is, inundated or whatever, but with opportunity, with people approaching me, you know, and you know, the new builders. I tend to work with the smaller builders a little bit more than the big builders. The biggest builders I work with are like Sheldon Dingwall and Michael Tobias, and you know, I have a bunch of other, you know, consumer grade, or you know, like Fender and Yamaha and Rickenbacker and brands like that. I have a bunch of those in my personal collection, G&L, but I don't have any affiliation to them. You know, I'm not really working with them. I just own some of those basses because I like them, and a big part of my collection of basses is my vintage instruments, my older instruments, and my vintage ones. So, but anyways, going back to the Daily Funk Club, here at the Daily Funk Club, I'm working with a whole bunch of really incredible builders, and Maurizio Costa at MG is one of the great ones, and I'm really hoping you guys will, if this type of instrument, you know, is your thing, you know, this kind of lots of different woods and real pretty, and the designs on the fingerboard, if that's your thing, you know, you can't go wrong with these MG basses because of the price point. Go to the website and check it out. All right, friends, have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you real soon. Peace.